you know, it's hard to say no. I get requests in different flows like a lot, like daily. And it's really, for me to be able to like, I just don't have, there's no showroom. There's, I don't have an archive that I own anymore. But, if you want to make a one of a kind piece, I can do it. I can't, it's not, and I'm happy to for the right person with the right amount of time. Sorry, it can get done, but it's just not my focus right now.
Do you miss having your own brand? I mean, you're busy, like, just like I said, the costumes in this movie are brilliant.
Of course I'm busy because I mean, for 20 years, I was the front of what had become, real operation machine. I'm not sure I miss having my own brand, but I definitely miss having the resources of a creative process. But I also like being at this kind of new entrepreneurial stage that is very pure and reminiscent to where I feel like I started, with a lot more wisdom.
Did you love working on the outfit? Was this a career high for you?
It was incredible kind of first toe dip, I would say. I wasn't able to be on set, so I worked with the co-costume designer Sophie O'Neill, who did a spectacular job. So it was kind of hard. I was getting dailies every day, and that was part of the process in the way we're talking right now. So that's kind of was challenging, but also, I'm really happy with the film. I think it's an exciting film. I think it's beautifully written. I think Graham did an amazing job directing. I'm really I'm blown away by how it all came together and putting together his dream team.
I mean, you've done so much. Did you learn anything about yourself as a designer from working on this movie?
Absolutely. Wow.
I'm asking all the questions here today, Zach.
Yeah, all the questions. I learned anything? Yeah, of course. I learned watching, in this, I felt affirmation watching the kind of master fitting on Mark, at Huntsman. It was affirming because it's like I could see through the screen. It's like exactly everything I wish I could do on the suit. And then they just did it. And it was like, this is properly how you do something right. Like no cutting corners or anything. Like this is how you handle, something beautifully right. And I was like, oh, I'm just dying to have them make me a suit one day. That's like a dream. That's on my wish list. Because I really appreciate really beautifully custom made clothing. And I know that experience because, that's what I'm doing, all the time. It's doing fittings. And, when you're doing fashion, sometimes you kind of have to make smart choices. But with a custom suit to this level, like it's just about doing it perfectly and right. And I really, really greatly appreciate that and know how rare that is.
How would you describe your own personal style that you dress yourself in?
Oh my gosh. Well, it's definitely evolving. I'm way more casual these days, as I think a lot of people are. I mean, I like comfort and, elegance, and, I definitely have a more casual look in general, but I think like I like to wear really nice coats. The coat makes the look. With flair, I don't know, usually anyhow, it always comes out a little bit kind of retro glamour.
It's all about the accessory, right?
Yeah.
Where do you think fashion is going? Like, like you said, like, I think people are dressing more comfortable these days. I mean, the world's open-ish, more or less.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah. I don't know. We're gonna see. I think fashion is in a really redefining moment. That's what I would say. And I think that as an industry, we have to really, I think it really like the ecological impact of it has to be really addressed. It's like really serious. And I think that has to be addressed kind of in consumerism and that's really challenging because it's like we also as humans need to work, like it's our whole capital system. So it's there's a lot kind of contrasting at play, I would say. But in general, I think that it's a lot of fashion, and I think, to me, I think that it's going to kind of redefine itself in the virtual world. It's happening already, but I think it's going to really happen strongly.
Interesting. What about, like, you were, the subject of this Netflix documentary, Project Runway? Would you ever do more reality TV of any sorts?
Um, not really. No, I don't think so.
Just not for
But
you.
I, it depends. I say never is what I would say to that. It's really the answer. Never say never. The right opportunity, the right people for sure. But I'm definitely interested in kind of produced and scripted in
That's
general,
good.
right? I mean, and being involved in that, even if I'm on camera, being involved in more scripted and developed, pieces. Like I'm interested in producing, more work or even being behind the camera.
I like it. Do you watch, like, like Real Housewives? Do you watch, or the Kardashians? Like, do you watch any reality TV?
Not anymore. No. I mean, I watched like over COVID, like my girlfriend for the first time got me into like The Bachelor. Like I had never watched The Bachelor. And so I went into like a Bachelor vortex, like watching them body paint, or like, the secret house that they go to is like Bizarro Land or like Survivor and all this stuff. And of course I've watched all the shows, and I used to watch Housewives of New York like religiously, but I just, I think, during the pandemic, like my focus has tried to be more in reality, right? Or just using creative output than being totally glued to the TV.
You listen, you have to at least watch the Real Housewives of New York at some point if you live in New York. Do you have a best dressed Real Housewife of New York, or just best dressed housewife?
Oh my God, I would never say that. New York is too small a town to name favorites.
We like them all, right?
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about? I mean, I'd like to give people a chance at the end. I mean, everyone needs to see this movie. The costumes were amazing.